Welcome to the channel. My name is Matthias. Today we're going to talk about James Clapper's Fact and Fears. It came out in 2018. For those who don't know, he was the director of national security from 2010 to 2017 during the Obama years. If you're a history buff like me, this book is going to be right up your alley. It dives deep into the history of the United States during the Cold War, the post-Cold War, because James Clapper has had a very long career in the world of intelligence. One can only imagine what things he couldn't put in this book, but that aside, there's a lot of fantastic historical anecdotes that I'm going to focus on in this series of videos. So the first one of these historical anecdotes that I thought worth sharing with you guys is the Corona satellite program. So these were a series of reconnaissance satellites that the most interesting aspect is that these went up into space way before the first astronauts did. And these satellites were operated by the CIA in conjunction with the Air Force. And later on, within the United States government, we're going to have a new intelligence body called the National Reconnaissance Office. And they are going to be the ones in charge in obtaining all the photographic reconnaissance that these satellites are going to give. So the whole idea of this reconnaissance program is basically just to take photographs, but this is super low tech. They're doing surveillance over Russia and China. This program started in 1959 and was operational all the way up to 1972. And one must not forget that the first Mercury mission, the first manned United States mission into outer space, was in 1961. So let's backtrack a little bit to the beginnings of this program and what actually started it in the first place. And James Clapper basically mentions that Eisenhower totally freaked out when the Russians put Sputnik into space. He greenlights this new surveillance program that originally was called Discovery, not Corona. Now, the satellite itself was designed and developed by the RAND Corporation. And I have to say that not all the missions of the Corona satellites were for spying and surveillance, because they were also used for mapping the United States itself. The State Department used these images quite extensively for this purpose too. Another bit of pretty interesting information is that it took the United States government 13 tries to get the satellite into space. Only imagine how much money they lost in the beginnings of this project. So here's the tidbit that, at least for me, I found pretty fascinating. So these satellites are very basic. They're just designed to take pictures. And the thing is that they're not transmitting these images back to the Earth. What they would do to send the images back to Earth is literally they would send back the canisters of film from space to Earth. Basically, they were shot back down. And once they entered the atmosphere, they would have a little parachute. 30 would capture these in midair. I can only imagine the mathematics behind all this. So I'm going to leave this brief video here. I hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. Bye.